Hi guys, so it's been my fourth full week of trading penny stocks with real money, and it's been my first red week on the market, and it actually ended the week feeling quite positive because I learned so much. So obviously trading red and losing money is an inevitable part of trading, but especially when you're a beginner trader, it's just part of the process. I have to be able to lose, to know what trades are good, what's bad, and try and develop edge over time. So I've definitely been over trading. I've been trading every day when there isn't necessarily a good setup every day. But again, I don't mind trading at the moment every day because I'm just getting experience. This is my training ground, and I've got to be able to take these good and bad trades to be able to learn to become a better trader. So let's have a look at what worked and what didn't work on the market this week. So the first ticker was JNVR, and I was playing it for a first green day bounce. So when the stocks had a strong run up, nice pullback, and then looking to play it for a bounce. So this was a low float stock. It's had a big day one on high volume, and it had gone from around 380s up to $48-ish. And then day two, it had a red day because it was closing below its day one close, and then another day red day on day three, and then technically this day here was its first green day bounce. However, I was playing it for a first green day bounce here just because after this bounce it continued upwards significantly. So its day one's highs were 48, and it had continued its run up after that first bounce day up to $80. So I would still consider this the front side of the move. And I was just anticipating if it had a big pullback from here, it could then have like another first green day bounce or second green day bounce, I guess you could call it. The other reason why I was looking at this stock was because it was very similar to Bull, B-U-L-L. Let me just pop that in, just have a quick look. So this was a stock that had gone from about $13 all the way up to $80. So to go up to that range is a massive move, but also it's topped out at $80, and JNVR has pretty much topped out at $80 as well. And then Bull had pulled back to around say it opened there around $40, and then it had a bounce off $40 all the way up to $52. So I was comparing the two, and they were both sort of software related companies, so they had kind of a similar industry as well. So JNVR was going from $80 and pulling back now to the same range as Bull, the $40 range roughly. So if we go into the the intraday chart and look at the 30 minutes to start from. So this is the sort of run up, and then this is the pullback, and this is the day that I played it for the bounce here. So we can also see on its day one, it had some resistance around this 34 mark, pushed out of it, came back down, and then that same level became resistance again over a couple of days before it broke out of there, came back down, tested it, and then went off again. So this area of resistance that then sort of became support, I was thinking could then act as support for the bounce. So going into the 1 minute chart, back to that day. Yeah, I can see the day before as well. It kind of didn't go below that risk level, held it after hours, and was holding it pre-market. So this was where I was looking to get in for the bounce day. There wasn't much liquidity going on here, as you can see, but I felt confident that it was going to bounce on this day. So I got in pre-market. I put $73 on the trade, and the price I got in at was $36.46, somewhere around here. So the market opened and had a nice little spike upwards, but I was waiting for a bit more. I mean, my first profit target was 42, so it was actually quite close to there. But I didn't actually sell any at that point. And then it pulled back down and it broke my risk, and I had to cut the trade. Stupidly, I hadn't put a stop loss in, so I got caught with some slippage, and rather than selling at the 34.65 risk, I had to sell at 32.26. So I lost more than I was wanting to lose on the trade, and it's a good lesson that I need to make sure I've got my stop loss in place. So I lost like 11% on that, over $8, which is quite a big loss for me, to be honest, on small size. So yeah, but if I was forward thinking enough, I could have continued to watch this and look at it, reclaim my risk, and then I could have re-entered it. But I wasn't thinking that way. I was kind of like, well, my trade didn't work, I was wrong, and then that was it. So I missed out on getting back in the trade, and then as we can see, it did the bounce that I thought it was going to do. It went to my first profit target of 42, which was basically this level here, and then this level here, which was 48. So it had a really similar range of bounce to bull, because I think bull went up to 52, which was about there, so pretty similar. So it hit both those profit targets perfectly, so would have been a nice setup, but it is what it is. It was a good thesis, definitely, but yeah, wasn't intelligent enough to think about getting back in there, but yeah, that's fine. So the next one was LGCB. Go to the daily chart first of all. Low float stock. It had a recent reverse split to make it low float, and then I was playing it on this day here, the 24th of April. So basically this has come on my radar because it was gapping up on my scan on good volume, which is this day here. So it had this breakout after hours and then pre-market, and yeah, I was just watching it really. There wasn't really anything for me to do with it at this point, but I was thinking if it pulled back, it could be a potential setup where you get a weak open and then a morning spike. And another reason was, if I go back to the daily chart, this is the day I played it, and we can see the day before, down here's the volume. It didn't do loads of volume, but it did more volume than it's done, you know, since its reverse split. It did to 2.5 million. And it had topped out that day at $2, and you know, whole dollar marks are always significant. So it topped out at $2, and pre-market it had this sort of nice crack, and it was pulling back to that $2 mark. So I was looking at that for a potential entry because it's a whole dollar mark. It's also yesterday's high of day, and there's good range for this to move as well. So I got in I was a little bit nervous here because it had this, just zoom in a bit, you know, quite a significant crack there. But I did get in, I think on this first green candle here. I got in at 204, risking off 199, and I put on $40 on this trade, and yeah, just kind of hovered around a bit pre-market, and then market opened, came back down to 205. So that's kind of like the weak open part of it, and then you get this morning spike. So I sold just along this basically, and my best sell was 236. My average sell was 225, which is here. So that was a 10% profit. And yeah, a new setup that I'm trying to learn a bit. These week open morning spikes, I'm still getting to grips with them, but this was, I think, a good example of how it can work. But yeah, I also just took loads of stupid trades that didn't work out this week. Lots of red trades. I won't go through all of them because it's just probably quite boring really, but yeah, they're just a couple of trades that I took this week, but obviously ended the week red. And yeah, definitely over trading, but yeah, just getting experience and learning at this point. So I don't mind taking losses, but it is definitely frustrating when I take trades and they're not good setups, I've not got a good thesis. But again, I'm just learning, so I've got to try these things out, gather data, I track all my trades, so hopefully over time I'm going to be able to identify which setups are more high probability that I'm going to win and which I need to stay away from, and the ones that aren't doing anything for me, not to take them because it's just going to borderline on gambling really. It has also been a very slow week on the market. The scans have been really slow, and I don't know how much that's been affecting the setups that I'm taking. But also probably should have backed off and not traded because the market was so quiet. So that's just another thing for me to bear in mind. What I am excited about is going back and looking at my tracker as I'm getting more data, the more trades I take. I'm going to be able to sort of drill down into that and see what is working and what's not working. Again, I do need a few more months to kind of gather enough information, but it's slowly giving me some detail to work off. So that's it for the week, a red week, but feeling fine about it, and let's see what happens next week. Thanks for watching.